few days ago, Amazon Prime released the new series based on the Fallout video games, and it was surprisingly good. It surpassed all my expectations and prompted me to ask the question that starts today's video: how many XP did Lucy get in the Fallout series? While watching the series, I noticed it recreates elements from the games, not surprising as it's part of the same timeline. Lucy recovers from a stab wound as if nothing happened by injecting herself with a stim pack, and even the hacking minigame occurs when Norm accesses the computer in the supervisor's office. Considering all this, it occurred to me that it should be possible to calculate Lucy's experience points throughout the series, and that's what we'll discuss in today's video, so watch the series first. To calculate the experience points, or XPIB, which are the same, we must first choose a game to base it on, and I think it's obvious it should be Fallout 4. Closest game chronologically, evident they based visual style on it during production of the series. The weapons, enemies, setting, and color palette are reminiscent of Fallout 4, so we based our calculations on this game system to determine the experience. To find Lucy's XP, the whole series had to be watched, noting all her actions that could have earned experience points. To do that, we need to discuss how experience works in Fallout. In Fallout 4, you can earn experience by killing enemies, discovering locations, completing missions, building settlements, crafting items, modifying weapons or planting food, picking locks, hacking terminals, and passing persuasion checks. When you successfully persuade someone in Fallout 4, there are no checks for stats like strength or intelligence, but we will count them to add experience points, as in the rest of the Fallout saga. Another important aspect when talking about experience is the stat or attribute of intelligence. In Fallout, there are different attributes, and each one affects the game in different ways. The intelligence attribute directly affects how much experience you receive, so our first question should be, what are Lucy's stats? This may sound like an almost impossible question to answer, but luckily Lucy was added as a playable character in Fallout Shelter a few days ago, which means we can see her exact stats. Looking at his attribute table, it makes sense that his highest attributes are luck and perception, and we notice he has 6 points of intelligence. According to the game logic, this means we should apply a multiplier of 1 and 18 to the EXP she earns, as more intelligence leads to more EXP gain. In other words, if a mission gives you 100 XP as a base, having 6 INT will result in receiving 118. The latest thing is the difficulty, not hard to deduce. References to the games show operates like real life, putting us in the most challenging and realistic difficulty of Fallout 4, Survival. This is evident when Lucy drinks radioactive water and gets sick, something that doesn't occur with those symptoms in the normal game. In survival mode, additionally, you earn double XP, and sometimes things work differently than in the regular game, but we'll discuss that later. Introduction done, time to start first episode. Series begins with Lucy McLean ready to meet her fiancé from another shelter. When group arrives at door of Shelter 33, she persuades Chet to open it, as he's reluctant due to being in love with Lucy. Persuasion check gives 18 XP as it's easy. By the way, I'm listing scores with intelligence and survival bonuses already added, so video doesn't become tedious. Also, to ensure, I manually checked everything in Fallout 4, which was more work than needed due to the time-consuming survival mode. After the wedding, Lucy and her fiancé Monty perform the Fruitafantastic, which is relevant to their research. In Fallout 4, we have perks, small bonuses that increase experience points over a certain period of time. The key XP bonuses are 3, Quiet Reflection, which raises your XP by 5% after contemplating life for a while, Well Rested, which increases your XP by 10% if you sleep in a bed for a decent amount of time, and Lover's Embrace, which grants a 15% XP boost if you sleep with a romantic partner. This means that Lucy gains an extra 15% experience for the rest of the episode due to this last perk. Other rare perks, like the Wise Idiot or the Stewed Squirrel, are irrelevant to the show, though I waited the series to see if Lucy would make squirrel stew. At some point. During the fight against the raiders, Lucy seriously injures Monty, her supposed fiancé who turned out to be a raider, using a tranquilizer gun, which means she doesn't actually kill anyone. And although in Fallout 4 sometimes you receive experience just by witnessing a fight, I feel that it does not reflect Lucy's development in the show, so we will not count the fights she only witnesses. What typically occurs is that if you harm an enemy and then a comrade kills it, they get the experience, which implies that Lucy acquires experience from Monty's demise by her father, Han. Monty would be a scrapper in Fallout 4, so these are another 18 experience points, including the Lover's Embrace bonus. Finally, at the end, Lucy escapes from the shelter in search of her father, completing her first main mission and earning 236 experience points, raising her to level 2. In Episode 2, Lucy finds new places, starting with a small, deserted town that grants her 24 XP points. A campfire is made, believe it or not, gives her 6 XP, based on the Wasteland Workshop campfire in Fallout 4. Later, Lucy goes to a guy's house in an improvised diaper. He drinks her water, counts as a new location, adds 24 points. He guides her to Philly, our first main spot, and upon entering, Lucy earns 24 additional points. In Philly, a massacre occurs between Cooper, the townspeople, and Maximus, but Lucy remains inactive, gaining no experience. His sole ally is Maximus, and he doesn't kill anyone, so not even there does he clarify a departure. But she escapes Philly with the scientist, leading to her completing her second main mission, earning 295 points and leveling up to level 3. At the end, Lucy has to decapitate the scientist, and I'm sure that if we were in Fallout New Vegas, that would be a science or medicine check, so we'll give her 30 points in honor of that game. In Episode 3, Lucy makes a campfire, earning 6 points, and finds ruins by a lake, where she gets 24 points. She is attacked by a monster, and despite Cooper kidnapping her, he uses her as bait. She must fight to survive. It really doesn't kill anything, it just takes another 24 points upon reaching the abandoned town in the desert. In Episode 4, Lucy accompanies Cooper to West Side Hospital, earning 24 more experience points. After seeing Cooper murder Roger the Ghoul and being compelled to consume but stew, they proceed on their journey, and Lucy is forced to drink radioactive water. After a failed escape, Cooper sells her to a Super Dupermart for medicine that prevents her from turning wild. Arriving at Super Dupermart earns her 24 points, where Lucy discovers they want to extract her organs, so she escapes using Mr. handy as an improvised weapon to persuade his 2 captors, addicts, to release the prisoners. Here we have 2 persuasion checks, with 24 points for freeing the regular prisoners and 29 points for freeing the feral ghouls, with a more challenging persuasion check. Latest checkpoint levels her up to level 4, addicts and ghouls kill each other. One last ghoul remains, marking Lucy's first official kill in the series and granting her 16 XP. We'll also add 28 points for the dead Mr. Handy, cause only Lucy truly harms it, even though they theoretically disconnect it later. At the end, Lucy gives paracetamol to Cooper and triumphantly leaves Super Dupermart, completing main mission, successfully escaping Cooper, earning 354 points. At the start of Episode 5, Maximus finds a new place that gives him 24 XP and makes him level up to level 5. Maximus is trapped in armor after being abandoned by Thaddeus, and Lucy saves him by defeating 3 giant cockroaches, each giving Lucy 12 experience points, totaling 36 points. Lucy collapses after drinking radioactive water, and Maximus saves her with a rat away. Now that Maximus has joined her adventure, his kills can also help Lucy's progress, as long as she has damaged the enemy. Later, while crossing a bridge, Maximus kills looters with Lucy's weapon as she does nothing. Thus, she gains no experience. However, before the shootout, she convinces them to surrender, so we count it as an easy 18 XP check. Later, the duo reaches Shady Sands, a popular spot for hardcore Fallout enthusiasts, so Lucy earns a 24 XP boost. In Fallout 4, there are large locations with multiple sites. Despite being in the same city or area, reaching these locations provides another experience boost. In DMD City, for instance, gain EXP for reaching the city, and if explore interior, find plaza or lower areas, get even more EXP. Based on this, it's clear that every location Lucy goes in Shady Sands, no matter how short, will give her experience. Thus, we add 24 points for the nuke crater, and Lucy gains 24 points finding Hawthorne's med lab. Finally, the finding of Shelter 4 also adds 24 more XP to us, even though it is beneath the hospital facade. In EP6, we see how Lucy's first side mission unfolds, now in Shelter 4, and unfortunately she doesn't get any XP. Fail persuasion check when asking boss about level 12, as he refuses to talk. She also doesn't sleep with Maximus, fails persuasion check by going to level 12, uninformed and told not to go there. Truly regrettable. During the 7th episode, Lucy manages to regain some lost time, and although she fails a persuasion check when trying to convince Maximus to stay in Shelter 4, she succeeds in persuading him to return the fusion core to the people so that the facilities can continue to function, rather than condemning them to be without power in a couple of days, which means she must have earned 24 points as it was a medium difficulty persuasion check. After they continue, we must add 236 points to complete the side mission of the Shelter as required. The action justifying Lucy's level increase occurs in the final part of the chapter, where they reach the radio station and catch up with Therius and the head they've sought. Discovering the station gives Lucy 24 XP, and completing the main mission by retrieving the head grants her another 354 experience points, bringing us to the threshold of the 8th and final episode and leveling Lucy up to level 6. At the end of the season, Lucy arrives at Moldever's town, gaining 24 experience points. We can assume she receives another 24 points upon reaching the observatory. In this place, Moldever and Lucy have a long conversation, making our protagonist more of a listener than an active participant. But after learning the truth about the incident in Shady Sands and her mother's disappearance, she goes to Hank, who is trapped in a cage right next to her. Lucy convinces her father to give Moldever the codes to activate the cold fusion core. The persuasion is complex, indicating she earns 29 XP for this achievement. Lucy finishes the last main quest, and as it's her final quest, we'll give her 472 XP, putting her at level 7. Ending the series, she slays one final ghoul, who drops a last 16 XP. With all that said, Lucy's final level is 7, honestly too low to have reached the game's final mission. In Fallout 4, no required level to finish, while some reached end at level 100 plus, others barely reached level 30. But even with this second example, there is a significant difference in Lucy's progression, which could mean that our protagonist speedran through the chapters, successfully completing the final mission, breaking the game, and placing her as one of the most skilled speedrunners in history. Anyway, I remind you that this was a personal analysis conducted jointly by the creative team of Lulyeahteam, and if we consider the experience systems of other games like Fallout 3 or New Vegas, it could be slightly higher level. For instance, in those episodes, there's a karma mechanic that grants experience for good or bad actions. This applies to Lucy, who consistently demonstrates altruistic actions like giving medicine to Cooper, rescuing Maximus, assisting Shelter 4 residents with the fusion core, or handing over the cold fusion artifact to Moldever. The issue with the karma mechanic is that it's too random. It could just as easily give you 10 points for one of these actions as it could reward you with 100. No exact average, all arbitrary, but I'm sure even if we mix in mechanics from other installments, Lucy wouldn't level up beyond level 8 or 9, putting her at a level equivalent to a Brotherhood of Steel Aspirant or a generic gunner from Fallout 4, leaving her ill-prepared for what awaits in Season 2. Enjoyed video? Like it, subscribe for more videos like this. See you in next video. Oh, remember to be careful with radioactive water. Goodbye.